Decode relationships, transform connections. Welcome to Beyond Boundaries. Have you ever sent a message in the morning and felt like it just vanished? Like you were invisible? Well, that's about to change. Today, you're going to learn about 7 powerful good morning messages that no man, and I mean no man, can easily ignore. These aren't your usual good morning, hope you have a nice day messages. These are words that spark curiosity, stir feelings, and quietly plant psychological seeds. Seeds that grow into appreciation, emotional closeness, and respect. So grab your coffee, take a breath, and get ready. Because once you start sending these, things shift. Big time. There's something really subtle but deeply powerful about a message that reflects someone's deeper worth, especially early in the day. It's not just about being nice, polite, or cheerful. It's about more than that. It's about acknowledging someone's place in your world, in your life, and that's exactly what you do when you send a message like, "Good morning, just a reminder, you're someone's reason to smile today, and mine too." At first glance. It may sound light, maybe even small, but it's not. This message touches something deeply human, the need to feel like we matter, and not in some vague way, but in a very real, personal way. What you're actually doing is letting someone know they are seen, not just as someone going through the motions of life, but as someone who brings light into your world. That's not just being nice, it's being real. It's like holding up a mirror, a soulful one. We live in a time where everyone is fighting for attention, yet most people feel unnoticed. That's a sad truth. But when someone reads a message like that, something inside them shifts. Deep within the male mind, under all the noise, the stress, the expectations, there's a longing to be essential. It's almost disarming. Not for money, because in a world where so much is about performance, but for who he is. What you're giving is someone's emotional world. That message doesn't demand anything. When the day hasn't yet hard pressure or expect. When the shields aren't up. It simply sees him. That's when emotional truth can slip in quietly and stay. That message has a different feel, but it's just as powerful. Instead of affirmation, it creates curiosity. You might say, "Woke up thinking about last night." You've just planted a small thought in his mind. Just those few words, and it won't go away create easily. A feeling we don't tap into it's not often about playing games. It's about depth. Why does that work? It's about earning someone's attention by offering something that draws them in, not closes it. Not by being loud. Psychologists call it the whispering something worth the tendency to hold on to things that feel unfinished. What gives this message power isn't just the tease, it's what it hints at. We hold on to what we don't fully understand. You shared a smile, a silence, something unspoken. That's what makes it stick. Men, especially those used to fixing and solving, don't usually sit with open-ended emotions. They're trained to close loops, to finish things. So when you hint at something that isn't finished, it grabs them more than they even know. So think about it while driving, standing in line between tasks. It stays not because you're tricking him, but because it's real. It shows that something between you still has more to unfold. And here's the beauty. You're not spelling it all out. You're letting silence carry part of the message. You're letting the mystery work its quiet magic. In a world full of oversharing and too much noise, this kind of message is rare. Not just flirty, it's thoughtful. It says, there's more to this and you're invited, but only when you're ready. And that's something most men don't forget. Not the exact words, but the feeling. The sense that being with you means discovering something meaningful, not just following a routine. You've turned a basic good morning into an emotional invitation, a quiet nudge towards something deeper. Now let's look at another kind of message. One that reflects the man back to himself in a way he doesn't usually get. Say something like, "You have this quiet strength I really admire. Just wanted you to know that today." That's not just kind, that's powerful. It's like handing someone a piece of themselves they've forgotten. We're all busy, the world wears us down. Men especially carry quiet pressures, trying to stay strong, to hold things together, and in all that they often forget who they are. When you send a message like that in the morning, before the world has a chance to drown him out, you're doing something special. You're shaping his day before it even begins. That's not control, that's care. And here's something important to know about the male mind. It's shaped not just by what a man does, but by whether he feels seen for who he is. When you tell him he has calm strength, you're not just giving a compliment. You're naming something he may not even have words for. You're giving shape to something inside him that he lives out, but rarely gets recognition for. That can change everything about how he feels moving through his day. Suddenly, he's not just going through the motions, he's carrying something deeper, something someone else believes in. And this kind of praise, it's not desperate. It's not trying to get something back. It just says, I see you. And that's rare. That's love in a quiet, powerful form. Let's go a little further now. This next kind of message, it builds something shared. It paints a picture. You could say something like, this morning I caught myself smiling, imagining us somewhere warm, sipping coffee with no rush at all. That's not just sweet. That's creating an emotional vision. People don't live in facts, they live in stories. And the best stories are the ones we can see ourselves inside. When you paint a picture like that, one that includes him, even in a small way, you give him a place in a shared future. And that's big. That image of peace and warmth and no pressure, it's not just comforting, it says something. It says, being with you feels like calm, like home. Men might not always say they crave this, but most do. Safety, stillness. But when you send this kind of thought that's in the morning, message when the day is still fresh, and the way you offer it, you're giving him not just a moment, you're not planning anything, but a direction, or setting expectations, a glimpse of you're just letting the imagination drift all day long, and that makes all the difference. In a life full of pressure, imagination and expectations, that's not just helpful; it's healing. These messages aren't tricks. They're not just cute. They're human. They come from a deep understanding that strong relationships are built on little things done right, on simple truths shared with care, not through constant chatting or over-the-top expressions, but through thoughtful timing and honest presence. So when you send these messages, you're aligning with something sacred, the belief that words can build, not just impress. That a soft vision can move someone more than a loud request, and that in the still hours of the morning, before the world gets loud, your words can be the ones that say, you matter, you're strong, and something good is waiting for you. There's a moment that most people don't notice. It's that small space before the day really begins, before phones start ringing, before pressure kicks in, that quiet pause. And in that space, what we hear can shape everything that comes next. So when someone reads, whatever today brings, I already know you've got this, I believe in you, it's not fluff, it's not an Instagram quote, it's an anchor. Maybe it's the only one they'll get that day. Most people wake up already feeling behind, already bracing for judgment, failure, or just being ignored. And when someone hears that they're believed in, not because they've succeeded, but before, it changes something, especially for men. Because the male mind has been shaped by pressure, by doing, by being judged on what they accomplish. And who sent that kind of openness isn't soft. It's brave. It's leadership. Emotional leadership. It says, I'll go first. I'll step out into the open so you feel safe to join me. And maybe they will join you. Maybe they won't. But either way, you've offered something meaningful, something that can shift the entire relationship. Because what you're really saying is, I care enough to be real with you. And that's rare, that's powerful. That's the kind of message that doesn't just brighten a morning, it can stay with someone forever. Then there's a different kind of message. One that doesn't just ask, how are you, or say, just thinking psychology, dreams aren't random. It says something leftover thoughts. I had a weird dream last night. They're emotional signals, symbolic messages that come from deep inside us. This kind of message that shows up in your dream. You're not explaining their energy or essence. You're just saying something. It meant something. Now imagine someone used to have imagine hearing exactly about honest. It's a way of saying I didn't even know. You're giving him a place in your world because of when sleep isn't fully left because of when we're still between dreaming and a job connection. That's when a message like this presence matters. And it doesn't just land. It stays. On the truth that we don't fully know ourselves in the mind. And sometimes not a question that demands the people who enter our dreams are the ones who can help us understand what we're really longing for. And you're part of it. Now there's one last kind of message, the simplest one of all. Before the day gets crazy, just know I'm thinking of you. Right now, this second. On the surface, it may sound ordinary. What you're really doing is reaching out through the noise. Before the day you look at him in a thousand directions, before the stress piles up. It's not about grabbing attention, it's about offering presence. Real-time emotional presence. Before you have to be anything for anyone else. And that means something. That means that you kind of message speaks to a deep human need. There's another layer to this. One most people need to be in someone's. We live in a world that praises productivity. Not because they have to. We judge our value based on how fast we move, how much we get done, how well we handle pressure. But a message like this breaks that cycle. It says, you're not valuable because of what you'll do today. You're valuable already, just as you are. That can be emotionally overwhelming, especially for someone who's used to being needed, but not always seen. This kind of message doesn't ask for anything, it gives something. It's not demanding attention, it's offering peace. It's saying, even if today goes badly, even if everything goes wrong, you were already loved before anything began. That grounds a person, it anchors them. And for a man who's always in motion, always under pressure, always trying to be enough, this can be the calm voice that says, you don't have to prove anything to be cared for. That's why these messages work. Not because they're clever, not because they're poetic, but because they're real. They honor the emotional world of the person receiving them. They speak to things we often keep hidden, the need to be seen, to be trusted, to be remembered. They're not about control. They're about connection. They say, I see the parts of you that the world overlooks, and I care about them anyway. That's not just a good morning. That's emotional nourishment. That's how you create not just connection, but something deeper. A moment of true closeness. So now, let me ask you, which one of these messages touched your heart the most? Tell me in the comments. I read every one. Let's build a space where we lift each other up every morning. Like this video if it stirred something inside you. Share it with a friend who needs to start her day with clarity and confidence. And make sure you hit that subscribe button. Every week, we go deeper into how our words, our relationships, and our energy make us magnetic from the inside out. Got a topic you want me to talk about? Drop it in the comments. I'm here for you. And remember, you are enough. You are strong. And your words hold power.